Oh man, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Ryan Clark and Tiki Barber exchanging words over Saquon Barkley. And I once again am very glad I'm my age because Tiki Barber would have gotten away with this over a bunch of young people who didn't understand who Tiki Barber was and just remember that he played for the Giants and he was a starting running back in this league. And he's a twin brother to Rondé Barber. And a lot of you probably don't know how he is as a person. So that's where I come in. That's where I come in with the knowledge. And that's where Ryan Clark, who was on the same team as this man, actually has firsthand knowledge to speak. And it tells Tiki Barber's response to Ryan Clark just highlights even more what Ryan Clark said. It elevated it to an entirely different level because now you get to see exactly who that person is as a man. Let's listen first to what Ryan Clark had to say, because what Ryan said was very informative.
Saquon earned that deal in Philadelphia, what he had to go through in New York to get through this point, being franchise tag last year. Now we're going to get to Tiki. Tiki taught me what I didn't want to be as a veteran. Tiki taught me how you don't make a young player feel welcome, how you don't make a young player feel like this could one day be his team.
Mm-hmm.
The way he made me feel as a young rookie and a second year player, I said, I don't ever want to be that dude. And he's continued to be that person. Like you said, he left football early, fully expecting to be on the Michael Strahan experience. But you weren't that dude. You also weren't liked and beloved like Saquon Barkley is. You weren't that sort of teammate that everybody rallied around last year. And here's what I do know. I know when I have a relationship with you, when I can joke. I know when I can tell one of the homies or some young man I mentor or a dude I'm tight with, hey man, you're dead to me, because he knows he's never going to be that. He knows the relationship that we've developed is way beyond the jersey that he wears. And don't try to backtrack it once you say it. Don't try to ingratiate yourself to the New York Giants fans who may feel the same way, who you said you're echoing, and then say it's tongue in cheek. Nah, stand on it. And when he calls you out, stand on it. And the one thing people like him taught me when I was in that Giants locker room is I'm going to have parties for the rookies when there's nowhere to go on the week they're trying to figure out if they're on the team or not. I'm going to host Bible study. I'm going to make sure you ain't using all your money at rookie parties. I'm going to make you feel like, with you the OG, that that's the way it's supposed to be done. And he never did that, at least as what I could see, and the way he was to me as a player. And he's continuing to act the same sort of way in the media. And it's a reason people feel the way that he does, and nobody wraps their arms around him as a former player.
Now, that was a powerful statement by Ryan Clark. And Tiki Barber couldn't believe it and had to come out and explain what was transpiring, what did he meant by what was said, the whole experience. But we're going to get into Tiki Barber, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. But I'm going to let you hear from Tiki Barber as he responds back to Ryan Clark's comments about him that was made on the Pivot podcast. So here it is on the Felix Wireless show.
Wow, Ryan Clark, you are making blank up because you don't know me like that, dude. I didn't even realize how long you were on the New York Giants. Your first year, you were a practice squad player, and you're on the defensive side of the ball. Like, what is he talking about? I didn't embrace young players. Ask Brandon Jacobs if I embraced him. Ask Derek Ward if I embraced him. Ask David Deal or Richie Sorberg or any of those guys on my side of the ball if I embraced them. What the hell is he talking about? It's like he's fitting a narrative because he's acting like I'm still a player when it pertains to my comments on Saquon Barkley, and he's kissing Saquon's ass to ingratiate himself with Saquon. His comments make no sense because he's not talking about somebody that he knows well enough to talk about. Right? I honestly don't remember interacting with him as a player. I know he was on the defensive side of the ball. He's an undrafted free agent. I mean, I thought he was a decent player. Went on, had an okay career, won a Super Bowl. I give him kudos. But now that he's the big wig at ESPN, he thinks he can just take shots and his word is gospel, right? That Michael Strahan isn't still my friend, that Sean O'Hara is not still my friend, right? That these guys who I played with and went in the trenches with aren't still my friend. What are you talking about, Ryan Clark? Talk about Bible study and parties for rookies when they don't know if they're going to make the team. What does that mean? It's just it's an opportunistic shot that he's taking because he thinks that he's going to gain advantage by being a jackass to me. Congratulations, Ryan. Good luck in your career as well.
I don't really remember you. Like, were you on the Giants? That was my reaction. You just say,
No, I know. I remember him being on the Giants.
Okay.
I remember him being on the Giants.
I'm not familiar with your work, sir.
He didn't have a big role on our team.
Yeah.
And he's on the defensive side of the ball. So why would I interact with him on a daily basis?
Well, I think you are right, though, about the assessment. This is the chance to get news out of the news.
Yeah.
That's how I take it.
It's an opportunistic downstream attack on me because it fits the narrative that Saquon's and his people want to put out there.
And it sounds like a beg by Ryan Clark. Look, I'm going to say this, Saquon, please come on my podcast next.
Right.
Which, by the way, where that came from.
I mean, and yeah, is Michael Strahan crushed it? Of course. Of course. When I left the NFL and went to the Today Show, nobody had done it. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It didn't work out. I went through a horrible divorce because of a lot of things around my professional life, right? So I sat back, got my mental health right, and started at CBS Sports Radio. And now here I am as the afternoon drive host on WFAN.
You see, that's what I'm bothered by. Does Ryan Clark understand you're sitting in Mike Francesa's seat? You're sitting in Christopher Russo's seat?
He doesn't care because he's got the big wig and got a new contract at ESPN. So he's important now. So, I mean, okay. And by the way, my job is to be entertaining, to be informative, to sometimes be visceral. And when Saquon Barkley left the New York Giants as a free agent for the Philadelphia Eagles, we as fans have visceral reactions.
Damn right.
And I'm not claiming to be the voice of the people. I never even said it was tongue-in-cheek. People who listened to it said it was tongue-in-cheek, right? If you watched it, it was tongue-in-cheek. So he's making a story that fits his agenda. And he doesn't know me well enough to talk about me. So shut the hell up, Ryan Clark. Please. You sound like a fool.
You better watch out. Bad Tiki's going to get on his ass, too.
I love
Good
it.
luck. You're dead to me.
And I can speak for this because I was once that guy. There is not a single 23, 24, 25-year-old kid that has walked through the doors at WFAN and CBS Sports Radio as a teammate of Tiki Barber, where Tiki isn't the first person asking their name,
Look at you,
shaking
Sean.
their head. Because it's the truth.
That's good. That's
It's
fine.
the truth.
Do it. No, go ahead.
There are a lot of guys with big
All right.
egos in the history of this building that basically couldn't be bothered with you until you established yourself. But if you were in here for 10 minutes, 2 weeks, or 2 years, Tiki's been nothing but a great teammate. That being said, Tiki, as your current teammate, if you ever invite me to Bible study, just don't put me in that spot where I got to say no.
Yeah, ideally have a barbecue, invite Snooki over, and then invite Sean and I to your.
So the rest of these, guys, they're just, they're there to, they're Giant fans. So, they're doing what they do on this show. But as you can hear from Tiki Barber, he sounds very narcissistic, very hi-hat. And let me tell you about some of the things that Tiki just tapped on and he just touched on. When he went to the Today Show and he left the New York Giants, he left when he could still play football. He never won a Super Bowl. They won once they got rid of him. Once the New York Giants went away from Tiki Barber, or basically he quit on the team and went to the broadcast booth, they won once they got rid of him. When he left the New York Giants on the Today Show, when he was on NBC, all he would do was bash the New York Giants, the team he played for. He always talked about he had sources, and they were saying this about Eli and the Giants. Eli had to take the microphone and actually give an interview and says, man, is that what they pay you for over there? Is just to bash the New York Giants? It seems like everything you say is against the New York Giants. Why is that? He never has anything to say unless it's against the New York Giants. They seem to have any type of controversy. He knows what's going on. And they was like, you haven't even talked to anybody over here. None of the coaches have spoken to you. So what Ryan Clark is talking about is what he knows. When Michael Strahan came and went into media after he retired, and he got into media and how he blew up, you were envious. Y'all had a conversation about it because he reached out to you because he heard what was your situation and how he flourished. And you were like, oh, no, man, I'm happy for you, man. It's just that, my situation isn't great. It didn't work at the Today Show because he said he didn't know what he was doing there. Well, what were you doing there? Banging a chick that works there, allegedly, right? Splitting up your marriage, hating on the New York Giants. And when you were a player on the team, a lot of players didn't like you. You have the same standoffish attitude as you did now. And when you left the New York Giants, a lot of the players, when you were bashing, were saying, we're glad he's gone anyway. So that talk was going on, Tiki Barber. Now, over the years, they probably have forgiven you and said, hey, this is our brother, let's embrace him. But to act like you were the beloved New York Giant player by the fans and all, come on, Tiki Barber. Let's not do that. Let's not play that game. Because everybody knows who's old enough to know the type of person you were. You were entitled. You was very arrogant. And a lot of coaches, assistants, quarterback coaches didn't like you. Running back coaches didn't like you. A lot of head coaches didn't like you. Rondé was the barber that they liked. Nobody liked you. That's just the way it was. Yeah, they've actually joked about you trying to be a white boy. You remember that? I do. They was like, my goodness, when you thought Tiki Barber couldn't sound any much more like a white guy, he gets on the Today Show and he just gets whiter and whiter each day. Oh yeah, they were roasting you on how bad you were. But now you're on CBS radio, you're doing your thing. Congratulations to you. But don't act like Ryan Clark is just talking just to be trying to get views or attention and create a conflict. You created that when you sat there like, oh, it was tongue in cheek. We're saying you're dead to me now. If it was tongue in cheek, you should have stated it was tongue in cheek. You never, like you said, I never said it was tongue in cheek. Everybody was taking it as tongue in cheek. No, they really wasn't. People were roasting you for saying, oh man, you're going after this guy because he's a free agent and he decided to leave and they didn't want franchise tagged him when they could have paid him. But you're a company man, not a player. You're not a player's guy, you're a corporate guy. So that's just how you think. That's where your mindset is. So don't get mad for me if I don't cry for you, Argentina. I just think it's pathetic that you chose, instead of owning it and saying, this is what I mean, you try to throw and reverse it on Ryan Clark as if Ryan Clark said something that was egregious. Like he just pulled that out of thin air. Let's just make that up about Tiki Barber. For what? In case you thought I was lying, here is Tiki Barber blasted Michael Strahan for saying he might retire back in 2007. He came out and said that Strahan was being selfish. Yeah, you forgot? Oh, don't act like Strahan isn't my friend. You straight up said this man was being selfish. Right here to ESPN. You said, well, y'all see that? I don't know if he realizes how much $17 million is. That is absolutely ridiculous to turn that down. You see that? He's already the highest paid defensive player in the league. He's already making more than most quarterbacks. I find it hard to believe the whole deal hinged on if he was going to get 17 or 10 million this year. I find that hard to believe. That's the value of the entire contract. That's why I have no sympathy. You're telling me that's not good enough for 2 years? Give me a break. Tiki Barber, ladies and gentlemen. Sound a little different from the guy who's sitting there in that chair talking about, oh, don't act like Michael Strahan ain't my friend. We know what was happening when you was a player, Tiki. This is what Ryan Clark was talking about. I remember. See, these younger people probably not, you can get away with that with them. That's why I'm going to rewind them and remind them. When you went out your way to talk about that man contract, Jesse Armstead, who used to be on the team, couldn't stand you. He was ready to get away from you and said he was going to drill your ass when he saw you again. Amari Toomer moved his locker away from yours because he didn't like you. So, Tiki Barber, what are you talking about? You were the most disliked player on that damn team. I remember. So I know what Ryan Clark is talking about. If I got to rewind it and remind you who you were, you thought you were bigger than life. What gave you the right to talk about that man's contract on the team? You were dividing the team. And boy, how fitting it was that they won the minute they got rid of your ass. Oh, and after Tiki Barber and the Giants get upset by the 49ers, Jim Fossil was fired. And comes Tomlin. And buddy boy, this was a changing of the guard. He wanted to win at the line of scrimmage and end the disease of turnovers. Tiki Barber was the leading rusher in like 7 years in New York Giants history, right? But what they don't tell you, he had a big problem of turning the ball over. In 2 years, he had like 18 turnovers. 18 fumbles lost by Tiki Barber. But he wants to run his mouth. So Toomer and all those guys didn't even like you, dog. Stop. This coaching staff here didn't care for your antics. You was a Fossil guy. Jim Fossil was a pansy. He was soft with you. You're turning over the ball and he's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Tom Coughlin's he's not gonna do that. Tom Coughlin is not going to allow you to sit there and get away and ruin his team by fumbling the football. Your days was numbered in NYG. Answer that on your podcast show, buddy. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button up. If you're new here, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. The Patreon is Carcino for life. The Cash App is Carcino. Y'all know what time it is. Exposing this dude. It's a liar if I've ever seen one. Boy, I tell you, these people want to try to reinvent their history. They want to try to reinvent their history. And a playoff loss to the Carolina Panthers. This man said he actually had the audacity to. We seem to have some technical difficulties around here. Hold on. We're going to get back to it. Hold on. We coming. Now, there we go. All right. Here we go now. Come on. Now, show don't stop. Show don't stop. Show don't stop. Show don't stop. Now, as you can see, they lose to Carolina. As the Carolina Panthers lost and got upset 23-0. Eli Manning was the quarterback. Tom Coughlin was bewildered as the former defensive coordinator, John Fox, totally schemed perfectly as he knew everything they were going to run. Yep. Tiki Barber came out and said, in some ways, we were out-coached. Wow. Out-coached. That's old Tiki for you, baby. Old Tiki. Outspoken. To the letter. He can't help himself. The next day, after being eliminated in the playoffs, after he made that statement, Tom Coughlin took Tiki Barber to film school. Said, come on in here and we're going to have a film session. He had a film session with Tiki Barber and they were supposedly on the same page after the coach heard him say he was out coached. Came in there to let Tiki Barber know exactly what he thought about him. So, once again, Ryan Clark ain't lying. A lot of people don't like this dude. I'm trying to tell you, To see him go up there and act like he was beloved, it is the funniest and weirdest thing I've ever seen. So, after, right, that film study, 5 games into the season, Tiki Barber has like 100 yards rushing for like 5 games, and he decided this is going to be his last season. But the goal is, let's win a Super Bowl. That's the goal. We got to win the bowl. There's no diggity, no doubt. We have got to win the Super Bowl. So, on a game they're getting blown out and they abandon the run, Tiki once again turns into Tiki Barber and goes off on the coach once again. Right here. A disproportionate amount of teams that win it by running the football. Period. That's football. It's not complicated. This is something that teams and kids and coaches do from 12 years old to college and up and beyond. This is Tiki throwing the coach under the bus yet again. Unacceptable, because we never win football games playing like that. You say you have a couple of bad plays early on and you just cave. Wow. You see this? But he's so loved. Everybody loves Tiki. After the Maras died, and he was very close to the owners, the Maras, they got new owners taking over from the family. He had donated that ball after scoring 200 yards. He makes the jump to NBC television, and he signs the contract, and here it is. The new man on campus is Tiki Barber. Barber may make NBC must-see Tiki. Everybody know this was some bull. So with me having these receipts right here to back it up, everything that I was saying, right here, he goes on the show and he seems to be bashing the Giants all the time. Coughlin robbed me of what has been one of the most successful things I had in my life, which was the joy I felt playing football. I had lost that. He had taken it away from me. Wow. That's strong words. And every day he seemed to always have something to say to bash the Giants. Coughlin responded back, said his 3-year tenure with him, the 3 years he had him, he's like, look, the Giants conceded with the 3 best years of Barber's 10-year career. That's what really disappoints me. And it hurts because I hold this player in high regard and he has performed. The best years of his career has been under our tutelage, and I'm certainly very proud of that. So that's what Tomlin had to say. But to Tiki ain't going to be that way because Fossil was his guy. Fossil babied him, pat him on the back saying it's going to be okay, Tiki. Tom Coughlin ain't got time for that. He wants to win. He cares about winning. He cares about you giving up the ball 12 fumbles in 2 seasons. You fumbled it 18 times, but you lost 12 of them. That's a lot. And in the NFL, you're not going to win games like that. So he wanted to fix the problem of you turning over the damn football. It's a major concern for a coach. And like I said before, here he is bashing Manning's attempt to lead an offensive meeting in the 12th week of the last season was comical at times. Making fun of Eli Manning's leadership on the New York Giants. Every week, he's tearing down the New York Giants. People were rooting for him to do well in TV and all of that, but now it's just like more problematical Tiki. Narcissist, arrogance, the whole nine. And like I stated, Eli responded. All factual. I guess I could have questioned his leadership skills last year with calling out the coach and articles about him retiring in the middle of the season. I'm not going to lose any sleep about what Tiki has to say. Right, and he called him out. You always bashing the New York Giants. Is that what they hired you for up there at NBC? It's just to bash the Giants every week? Then the Giants win the Super Bowl without Tiki Barber. They win the Super Bowl. If that's not the ultimate slap in the face of Tiki Barber, they win the Super Bowl without you, and they were a lot better without you. Now he has to cover the Super Bowl event and look like a fool. Look, Jonathan Tisch and your contact with the equipment and video personnel, that was the only people you had contact with. You have been excommunicado from your team. It's not right. He shouldn't be jeered when his image appears on the Giants stadium board. He shouldn't have been denied an invitation to join his former team for the Super Bowl party, which Barber will attend in the colors of the NBC. He was denied invitation. Oh my God. But they love him so much. Everybody said, man, you shouldn't have left the Giants. Don't you feel stupid you left? I made my decision for personal reasons and I haven't looked back. Now he feels like such a fool for leaving. Then the Giants win a second Super Bowl. So now, instead of it being a fluke, now they got two Super Bowls. And now the fluke is over, right? They got two Super Bowls without Tiki Barber. Now Tiki wants to flip the script and be friends with everybody. He goes ahead and gets with Strahan. Then he comes out to say the Giants needed me to retire to win a Super Bowl. Eli had to become a leader, so I had to get off the team. Now he's taking credit for winning the Super Bowl. Tom Coughlin had to change his coaching style because of me. It's me. It's Tiki. I'm responsible for Tom Coughlin's Super Bowls. He had to change his coaching style after me. And anybody want to question Ryan Clark about what he said about Tiki Barber? Who you gonna listen to? The list goes down the road. Nothing Ryan Clark said was incorrect about Tiki Barber. Every word he said was spot on, right on. This is Tiki Barber. This is who he is. It's who he's always been. He has not changed one bit, and he's not going to change. No way is he going to change. Mm-mm. Uh-oh. Now, well, these things come and go, but they're commonly the same. Good old Tiki. He said he was going through a divorce. He left his wife of 11 years when she was 8 months pregnant to run off with a 23-year-old blonde who was an intern at NBC. Tracy Lynn Johnson. Now, Tiki was devastated he was snubbed by the Giants. Then he came in there and requested Tomlin be fired. And Eli was like, oh, it's good to hear from old Tiki again. Then he backtracks. And now I love the Giants. I love Michael Strahan. This is my brother. Oh, I love him. He was great when he changed his approach. Tom Coughlin. He was like, it's a little bit unfair, the constant blaming of Eli. He's now pivoting. Now he's welcome back under new coach Pat Shermer. Now he's back in the Giants' light. Tiki Barber is back. But he claimed that everybody loved him so much. This is what I talk about all the time with these people trying to rewrite history. You see all these guys doing it. You would think these guys were better than what they were. You listen to people like Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. They talk like they were the game changers in the NBA. Like with them, when they got, when we got there, that's what changed the game. No, you guys were role players. Tiki Barber was a great running back. But his attitude, his entitlement, his arrogance was divisive on a team. They would not won with Tiki Barber. He wasn't an I'm a buy-in guy. He has you could tell from even outside of football, everything he's done, he can't accept responsibility for nothing. He blames his wife, who's 8 months pregnant with his child, because he's out banging a 23-year-old intern, a blonde he's been messing around with. Cost him his job. Then he's blaming it. I got to go through all this stress I got with me going through a divorce with my wife and this situation here I got at my job. That was you. You were having so much fun with that blonde. Screwed up your whole life. Then you wanted to blame your wife. No, No responsibility, no accountability. This is why you can never trust Tiki Barber. Just trust Tiki Bar. That's all you can do. Trust the Tiki Bar before you trust Tiki Barber. That's all you can do. Rondé's the cool one. Rondé's the barber that you could be cool with. I don't even know if Rondé cool with him. He's the bad twin. You know, you got the good twin and the bad twin, and this is the bad one. Right here, Tiki. 100%. Anyway, I'm out. Don't forget to subscribe to the page, hit the notification bells. Don't forget to subscribe to Kwame Brown Bus Life. Welcome to HDII TV, Armando Black TV, Jag Sports with Jose Rodriguez. And want to say shouts out to the Dreamers Pro. And I want to say shouts out to Ticket TV, still doing this thing and holding it down. I'm going to go watch one of Tiki, oh my God. Ticket TV videos right now. So I'm going to go check that out. And I've already upgraded the Patreon, so you guys should be seeing that. And it's going to be quite interesting. I'm not even going to tell you what it is, but you'll see it when you get there. I'm out.